Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true.
William Knapp High School student charged with fatal stabbing of schoolmate pleads guilty to manslaughter. The William Knapp High School student charged with the fatal stabbing of his schoolmate, Kamal Hall, pleaded guilty to manslaughter when he appeared before the High Court Judge, Andrea Thomas, in the Trelawney Circuit Court on Monday. Hall was fatally stabbed on Monday, March 21, during an altercation with the accused over a ring. Hall, who was of a Dayside Trelawney address, was the goalkeeper for the school's football team that competed in last season's Da Costa Cup competition. The accused was charged after being questioned by detectives in the presence of his attorneys at law. He is represented by attorney at law Marissa Dalrymple-Filbert. His bail was revoked until Thursday, December 1, when he is scheduled to reappear in court for sentencing. 5 inmates test positive for tuberculosis. 5 tuberculosis TB cases have been confirmed among inmates at the correctional facility. The Department of Correctional Services in a statement today says the inmates have been hospitalized and are responding well to treatment. No staff member has tested positive for TB. The Ministry of Health and Wellness is now conducting TB screening for other inmates at the facility. The contacts of the hospitalized inmates have been identified and are being screened. Close to 100 inmates have already been through part of the first level of evaluation for TB. DCS notes that inmates are also being scheduled for the next level of evaluation, which involves a chest X-ray and spectrum test. The disease is caused by a bacterium called Mycobacterium tuberculosis, which usually attacks the lungs and can potentially affect other parts of the body, including the kidneys, spine, and the brain. The Southeast Regional Health Authority theorized that dead fetus found at the KPH was flushed down toilet. The Southeast Regional Health Authority has theorized that the deceased fetus, which was found at the Kingston Public Hospital last Thursday, was flushed down a toilet in the Accident and Emergency Department. Following the fetus delivery, the Health and Wellness Minister announced that based on preliminary information, the fetus was discovered by a man cleaning the sewer underneath the basement of the hospital. Police and the Southern Regional Health Authority have been investigating the matter. Speaking with reporters, SARS Regional Director Errol Green says the authority has spoken to the head of the Accident and Emergency Department and is still reviewing patient logs to confirm its theory. He also noted that a thorough probe is being done to determine whether or not the hospital is responsible for this incident.
Based on our investigation so far, we have not concluded, but we believe that the fetus originated in one of the toilets at the Accident and Emergency Department, based on where it was located, where we found it in the sewer system. And so therefore we're looking at the activities in the Accident and Emergency Department. We would have spoken to the head of A&E, we would have spoken to the matron, the nurses who are on duty, and the doctors who are on duty. And we have reviewed our security camera footage. We're looking at our logs to see the ladies who came in. My understanding was that a few people presented into the Accident and Emergency because of miscarriages, and I was told that there was even one suspected case of attempted abortion. So we're looking at all of those avenues. Of course, you know that patient information is sacrosanct, and we would have to respect person's privacy and so on. But we have looked at all of that, and we're putting all the information together to see how best we can assist the police and to see whether or not there was any fault in the administration of the hospital. We have not seen anything yet to lay blame at the feet of the hospital, but we're just looking to ensure that we are not culpable in any way, shape, or form.
Body thrown from car in Portmore. The body of an unidentified man was thrown from a car along the George Lee Boulevard in Portmore, St. Catherine on Monday. The constable's communication arm confirmed the incident to reporters. The body is described as being of brown complexion, medium build, about 5 feet 11 inches long, and sporting a low-cut hairstyle. Reports from the Portmore police are that about 10 p.m., a passerby saw the body being thrown from a Toyota Probox motor car and alerted the cops. The scene was processed and the body removed to the morgue for post-mortem. Detectives assigned to the St. Catherine South Police Division are investigating. Kingston Western person of interest turned self over to cops. At least one of the 6 men named as person of interest by the Kingston Western Police last week has turned himself in. Tajay Freeman, otherwise called Wang, handed himself over to the police on Friday, the day when the men were asked to turn themselves over. Head of the Kingston Western Division Senior Superintendent Michael Phelps said Freeman is still in custody and is being questioned by detectives. SSP Phelps is asking the other persons to follow Freeman's example and come in and talk with the police. They are Lester Coke, Christopher Coke Jr., otherwise called Titty Man, Ryan Burnbridge, otherwise called Little Blacks, Dwayne Grant, otherwise called Billy, and a man known only as Reddy Reddy. The police believe these men may be able to assist them in the ongoing investigations into crimes committed in the division. Several attempts have been made to contact them at their known addresses by the police cars. However, these efforts have failed, the police stated. Anyone with information that can assist the investigation is asked to contact the Denham Town CIB at 876-948-6443, Crime Stop at 311, the JCF tip line at 811, or the nearest police station. Driver warned for prosecution following deadly Melrose crash. The driver of a minibus involved in last Friday's deadly crash, which claimed 3 lives on the Melrose Hill bypass in Manchester, has been warned for prosecution by the police. The man, who police source says remains hospitalized, was reported the driver of the minibus transporting 7 people when it collided with a taxi on the Melrose Hill bypass. The collision resulted in the death of 19-year-old Mona Ann Forbes and 2 men whose identities have not yet been released by the police. Forbes and the 2 men were passengers in the taxi. Police report that about 11 a.m. the taxi, a Toyota motor car, was traveling up Melrose Hill bypass towards Mandeville when the collision occurred with the minibus going in the opposite direction. A reliable source told reporters that the minibus was transporting workers of a company contracted to do blasting on the US $188 million Mapen to Williamsville leg of Highway 2000. The workers were reportedly conducting a post-blast survey in the area. In May, traffic changes were made to the Melrose Hill bypass, which is being incorporated into the highway project to accommodate only westbound traffic. Eastbound traffic was diverted to Old Melrose Hill. Parents of children with respiratory illnesses urged youth health centers to reduce stress on hospitals. As respiratory cases in children remain high, the Southeast Regional Health Authority has intensified its call for parents and guardians to use clinics where possible to reduce the mounting pressure at hospitals. Last week, SARS Regional Director Errol Green told reporters that the increase in respiratory illnesses, especially among children, has overwhelmed the resources at some of the region's hospitals. Mr. Green had pointed out that the Spanish Town Hospital in St. Catherine and the Bustamante Hospital for Children were the most impacted. In providing an update last evening, Mr. Green noted that despite efforts to deal with the increase in children admitted due to respiratory illness, the hospitals remain overwhelmed. He is urging parents to utilize clinics where possible, adding that the opening hours at these facilities have been extended to help with the patient load.
We've not seen an ease up since last week. The minister spoke to it last week, and there was a press release. We have extended opening hours in all our major clinics, and we encourage persons to take the children to the clinics where possible to ease the pressure of the hospital. And, that is working to some extent, but we're still seeing quite a large number of patients waiting to be admitted in our hospital. Bustamante is still undergoing a little challenge, and Spanish Town is still undergoing a little challenge. I was at Spanish Town today, and the staff is working assiduously to try and deal with it. But we seem to have something in the air in the southeast that is affecting our children. I was at Buster this morning as well, and the numbers are really alarming.
Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification